some of these characters that we're going to mention are kind of on both sides of the fence here. A little boy in the striped pajamas situation. And the first of those, fittingly enough, got to be the Jews.
Well, this is why I said the thing I said earlier.
About off mic?
No, stop. I'm not giving you that.
The numbers thing?
No, you wrote those Jews in the tunnels.
Those Jews in the tunnels.
You used the word those.
Well, though, because I do like to make the distinction, even though like you get some whiny Jews who are like, well, if you mean to the Hasidic Jews, that means you're like mean to all Jews. No, they're different. They're weird. I'm sorry. They're fucking. I don't claim them. They're another thing. Although I find them charming in certain particular ways. They're
like in a landscape.
In a landscape, it's charming to me. I am glad intellectually on some level that I'm glad they didn't die in Europe, but they're fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, when people are a little too harsh on them, I do take it a little personally.
Me too.
It's like, chill out.
So those tunnels in Crown Heights happened on January 8th. Well, they happened throughout the winter.
They happened on January 8th?
January 8th.
Well, no, they were discovered on January 8th.
Discovered on January 8th.
You know, I will say, just because it's a little retrospective and we get to like dust a little dirt off our shoulders or whatever, that was one of our most popular episodes.
That's crazy. That's We Shmooly's 3?
And I don't know what... No, that's not Shmooly's 3, no. That is also one of our most popular episodes.
Oh, the Venerable Rebbe.
The Venerable Rebbe. And I don't want to read anything into it too much, other than people were very interested in what was going on down there.
Well, I went down there the next day.
You didn't go... No, you went down to the location.
No, I went down on the tunnels. I didn't say it on the show. I went down on the tunnels.
You did not.
They showed me lots of things. Yeah, I went down on the tunnel. No, I went down to 770 Eastern Parkway. And I looked in the tunnels, and I saw the guys that they had hired to... Probably the city got to go down there and, like, change some things around. And I got to tell you, outside, I know I described in the episode, there was hundreds of... frankly, jobless individuals sort of milling around, very exercised, wanting to get back into the center, prevented by doing so from the NYPD.
But they've gone back in the center.
They've gone back. Oh, we've got a little bit about the center there. So for those of you who don't remember, of course, this set us back to, like, I'm going to say Black Plague level anti-Semitism, where they thought we were poisoning the wells.
It wasn't great.
It was tough. I want to say this.
It was a tough moment.
It has been between everything that Israel is doing.
Yeah, I know.
As if that isn't bad enough, we had a group of, and I will say they were mostly Israelis, come over to Brooklyn, New York, and then descend from the sewers as if they were one of the many rats of the city.
Not just that, on video on social media.
Don't do it in front of the Goyim. Don't do that in front of the Goyim. You can come out of the sewer in front of me and I'll say something, but don't do it in front of the Goyim. Coming out, and I said like the rats, we don't want to do any tropes here, but really yours is coming out of sewers. It was tough to watch, and it set us back a long ways.
Speaking of the Israel thing, real quick, did you see the headline that Netanyahu can't go to the Auschwitz memorial because he's afraid of being arrested
for crimes against
war crimes,
humanity?
Yeah. Just throwing
That's a really good headline.
It is.
Yeah. You wonder if he's like...
That's one of those things that you feel like is going to be in a museum in the future, most likely in China. And, you can see it already on like a memorial.
Sometimes, like, because a lot of people ask me to do a lot of stuff, and sometimes I'm like, I wish I had, like, a local warrant out for my arrest to where, like,
I'm sure I could find a way to get that going.
I don't actually wish that.
Okay.
But I wish I had some version of that to where, like, where I didn't have to go to,
coming.
like, your birthday party in Manhattan or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I got a war crimes warrant out for my arrest there. I can't go to Manhattan.
Just in Manhattan.
Alvin Bragg is really
Speaking
off.
of, I do think that I feel like Eric Adams knows something about what's going on in those tunnels.
I think so too. Well, so let's a little update on that.
Okay.
13 guys were arraigned in April. However, multiple people, I don't think contained in that 13, could be arraigned because they were back in Israel. all but one of the people who got in trouble were Israeli. And I think that the guy who maybe didn't get in trouble was this one dude. So when I was there was like a bunch of people who were kind of pissed off about the tunnels, to be honest, who were pissed off at this one rather bulky individual who they were like yelling at this guy who was sort of like the ringleader of the guys who built the tunnel.
Interesting.
And I think he was American.
But the rest weren't.
The rest were Israelis who came over here to like study. And the
dig
reason
up some shit.
we talk about it in the episode, but the reason they built the tunnel is because Rabbi Schneerson, peace be upon him, one of like the last things he said, I guess, he mumbled out in between giving dollar bills to fucking passersby on Sunday, people who came and, paid tribute to him, although not monetarily. He was like, we need to expand the center. And these guys were like, he's the Messiah. That's it's like a new, a Torahcal commandment. We got to do that. And then they kind of blew it. But it seems to be mostly fine now. I mean, the structure's somehow still standing. Schneerson, who has been dead for decades at this point, it's still in the motherfucking graveyard. But it's sort of like, I don't know what it is. It's like a weird sort of macabre tradition for politicians to go visit his grave and do what? Possibly
Trump did.
I know. Trump did. Possibly.
And he used to like kiss someone's ring, I think.
I think they make love to a woman and impregnate her on top of the grave, hoping that somehow Schneerson's seed will seep into that.
Stop it.
Like a poisoned groundwater. And a new Schneerson will be born.
Out of the
woman.
The ground. Oh.
Yeah, the fertile soil of the womb. But yeah.
Gollum situation.